I wonder if it can pick up the sound of me pouring in my caffeine.
I heard that little splash.
You hear that splash? Awesome.
Yeah, but it
I
was
wanted I wanted the internet to hear it as well because
dope.
ladies and gentlemen of the interwebs, welcome to the Beacon TVL show, the weekly podcast from Beacon DeFi, your beacon in the world of decentralized finance. I'm your host, Professor Chris. We've got a great show lined up for you today as we tackle the news of the week that's relevant to you, our dear users in the world of on-chain investing. Today on the show, we have our rotating panelists coming back today. Fantastic gentlemen of Web3. We have Lito Hilario. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great, Chris. It's been a very productive day. I like this subject. I think it's interesting to talk about. So looking forward to it, man.
Yeah, so the subject he's talking about is CCM. That'll be part of what we'll talk about after the news, and that is not the famous hockey company. That's the only CCM I know of. But we're going to be talking a little bit about creator markets, specifically content creator markets. So we will talk about that in just a minute. Let me just get the news out real quick that we are live, live, live.
Oh yeah, let me go retweet that as well.
And my internet decided it didn't want to. My internet
Oh
is doing
no!
nothing.
Don't you
Or
love it
rather,
when
my Twitter is doing nothing. How weird. I mean, obviously we're live, so. But while we do that, let's talk about the markets. So, Lito, we are 4 days removed from what they've now called Crypto Black Friday. Essentially, the worst ever crypto liquidation event ever. Let's say in history, but it ever is a good way to talk about it. So, hopefully, and this happened over Friday and Saturday. Hopefully you're safe.
yes. I do not participate in leverage trading or really any sort of perps trading. I stay away from that. I hold spot and I forget about it. So I'm very blessed to say that I'm okay.
That is fantastic.
Yes, sir.
I also do the same. I don't do a lot of leverage trading. I do leverage farming, but not leverage trading. Um, Thankfully, one thing we've talked about in our group for the last, I don't know, little bit is just getting into LPs and doing stablecoin farming. We've been preaching about that for a little bit. Why? Because the market's been chopped to death pretty much 3 quarters of the year. So if you like playing that game and you're good at scalping and all that kind of stuff, good for you. But if you don't have time for that kind of stuff, like Lito and I do, uh, finding more sensible options or just having a different mindset is better. Now there, I mean, I know quite a few people who got wrecked hard, and it is a tough pill to swallow. Seeing people that you know, that you like, that you respect, people in your circles that are suffering. You don't want to see that. But at the same time, there are things that happen that just you shouldn't have been playing that game, man. I get it. There's a thrill in some of that, but to see people lose seven figures in literally seconds is pretty nasty, to be honest. Let me zoom in here.
Yeah,
Apparently, I'm
and
zoomed
even
out.
if you're a good trader, winning more often than you lose, you still probably got liquidated that day because even if you had your stop losses set in, the price action happened so fast, the descent happened so fast that a lot of these stop losses didn't trigger and people lost all their
Yep.
net worth. It's sad.
Yeah, it's crazy. And there's all kinds of theories out there, right? Some people are
Yeah,
like, this was a market manipulation, which I do agree with.
I
It was half that.
absolutely.
It was half that, but it was also a huge drawdown just in altcoins. The issue here, and this is the part that really just kind of got me, was that a lot of people at the CEX level got wiped out. Not so much in DeFi. Obviously, there were some losses in DeFi, but a lot of liquidations in DeFi happened smoothly and efficiently. Order books died for a little bit, got severely lagged. on the CEX level, to the point that market makers actually just got up and left because it was just all crazy. Uh, Again, depending on what you read, there's a whole bunch of things that are out there. In any case, the CEX system, at least from my vantage point, did not work uh, as instructed, to the point that when you have people like Coinbase looking to do better, saying they're going to do better, Binance literally offering compensation requests, KuCoin offering some things to people. And it's just like, there's got to be a better way. Also, panicky trading. You hear President Trump using his KOL antics to mention, the idea of re-escalating a trade war on November 1st. That happened yesterday as well. The market kind of dipped because, he mentioned that he wants to put a tariff out on cooking oil. Very strange things you don't think would be correlated, but it's correlating to people who are risk on traders that can really be panicky sellers. And it's just really odd. Um, Looking at bubbles, Lito, as you can see, uh, oops, for the week, we're pretty red. For the day, we're still pretty red. Don't worry about, uh, is this Covalent AI? Chain Opera AI. They've been doing whatever for a minute. But yeah, I mean, overall, we're still seeing fairly red news. So this is an interesting market. But with that said, there's been a lot of recovery back up, right? If we look at the overall chart here from where we were, okay, it's still red, but because of today. But overall, we've seen decent recovery. Is it a full V-shaped recovery? No. But there are some things we're going to talk about that hopefully will continue to bolster that move back up. So, um, any closing thoughts on, on how the market is looking right now?
I just, it's funny. You're probably going to get into this, but it's funny how right before these tariff announcements were made, there were big shorts being placed on the market. It almost makes you wonder if people knew some information before the rest of us did.
Well, I think that's the thing, right? That when we look at things like this, like from Alpha AML, shout to them, there were multiple short positions. There was one large short position in particular. In fact, that same, and it was I think the account was made that day on Hyperliquid to short, not the CX level, but on the DeFi level, which I thought was fascinating. And
Yeah,
they brought in 40 mil on Monday to continue to short on Bitcoin. They then started to cover their short and got out, I believe. But still,
it,
signals, right?
yeah. A small thing, folks. Don't trust your money on centralized exchanges. Hold them yourself. Self custody. Decentralized wallets, please.
I didn't even ask him to say that.
No, it's so real because it's
It's real
unfair that
talk,
people
guys.
who have their money parked on, let's say, Binance, are looking at this crash as an opportunity to long the bottom, but are unable to because they can't access their funds. They can't trade. Not your keys, not your
Yes,
wallet.
exactly. Took the words right out of my mouth. Speaking of not your keys, not your wallet, one thing I wanted to bring up was this. I saw this on my timeline this morning. Shout out to Maya. This is in the UK, by the way, where apparently you cannot make social media posts or something, or TikTok. I don't know. Have you seen those videos?
It's a sad state of affairs.
It is a sad state of affairs, but to the point that when your bank literally asks you for proof as to why you want to take out £1,000 of your own money. So actually, if you've been watching some of our live videos on our Tuesday on air with Beacon series, we and also with our Beat the Bank series on Fridays, we've been talking a little bit about this, right? there's more and more people like Robert from Talisman, who's normally a regular panelist. Shout out to him. Their heads down right now, getting close to their TGE. Uh, he's been bankless since 2021. Banks need to understand that there are more and more people like Maya, like Robert, who are gonna go bankless at this point, and just look at all the new systems that are coming on chain with these we're calling neobanks or DO banks because they're decentralized neobanks uh, that literally can just easily interface with the banking system. And then the announcement 2 weeks ago with Swift partnering with Linea to bring 11,000 banks on chain or give them the access to bring their funds on chain. How could you want to be with a bank? To be honest, I mean, I can take my Coinbase Visa, go to an ATM, and take out money right now if I wanted to. You can do that with Cipher. You can do that with multiple other cards that are underneath that whole umbrella. They have the adapters. They have ways for you to get your money in DeFi, in crypto, back out to your hands. So the people who are always telling me, well, I just like money that I'm holding in my hands. In fact, I was at a family event recently where I know people in the banking industry were there and they were kind of talking crap about crypto. It's like, don't you just like tangible money? I'm like, I like money that I can actually remove from an institution whenever I want. And I can't do that with the banking system the way that it is. I get it. I understand fractional banking. We don't want a bank run. We don't want people running to the banks, doing what they did in China 3 years ago, wanting to grab their money out in lines around the block. It doesn't have to be that way, guys. It doesn't. DeFi fixes this. That was the whole point of me bringing up this tweet. What do you think, Lito?
It's crazy to think that in some societies, like let's say China, where there's social credit scores that, depending on how favorably you're viewed upon by the government, that will decide whether you're able to do certain things with your money, whether you're even able to get a job to get money in the first place. But that's a different subject. Like I can't imagine not being able to retrieve money from your bank, your hard worked money, because you say something that the powers that be do not like. Scary.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
I mean, when you're in a world where everything is ruled by something like that, um, but if we think about the social constructs of it, then I'm not trying to drive this off the rails, but thinking about how clout in certain forms gets you where you need to be in society, right? Like having a high school diploma, having a good credit score, things like that. I get it. There's obviously reasons why they're there, but the fact that these things are here and you don't have the ability to just take your money and take them places is just kind of crazy, right? And with their digital yuan, because it's a central bank digital currency, a CBDC, they can literally from the interface just zap out your money because it's programmable. Let's say, nope, they don't get any of it because of X and Y and Z issue, right? That's the
yeah.
scary part. And that's the kind of stuff where I understand why people would be scared of digital money, digital dollars, because they in a lot of cases, specifically with the centralized stables or just the centralized currencies, they are programmable. They do have blacklist functions. You can keep people from having and owning them. DeFi fixes this.
Yeah.
A little bit of a shift
Blockchain
to get
fixes
from one to
this.
the other. What's that?
Absolutely. Blockchain fixes this, man.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, before we get there, we are looking possibly at some changes to the economy, right? Chairman Powell, here in his last year of working, they're going to have a meeting at the end of the month, and the new litmus test for how things are going, which is Polymarket, has has it now pretty much set at a 95% chance of a 25 basis point decrease. The reason why I bring this up is because ultimately, and I've heard this on the timeline all week, The era of quantitative tightening is over. Easing is coming back, which is, these are all things that are good for us in crypto, good for anyone in risk assets. This is going to hopefully drive things further upward, uh, which frankly makes what happened last weekend just so annoying. Is that all the signs are there for continuous upward movement, but they have these shakeout manipulation moments where they try and just shake the tree from all the people, and it's sad, but I don't know. This is a good spot actually if you're looking to farm a little bit of poly market, where you can hedge your bet by literally buying the yes and then also buying one of these no's. So in the event that it's wrong, you get some money back. I don't know. Do you do that with poly market at all, Lito?
Oh, I used Poly Market plenty during the election cycle, but since then I've just kind of faded it. I think
Yeah.
that it's a very good way to make some very lopsided bets, and I love what Poly Market is doing. It brings me back to how, what was it? The CEO was arrested or what, something like that,
Oh,
because
for the oh, wait. I thought you were talking about the Coldplay thing. You're talking about something else.
oh no, Coldplay. No, I think it was post the election cycle in the previous administration. But my point was that that they must have been doing something innovative, cool. If the powers that be felt like, let's charge them with something that potentially they didn't do or whatever. Because I don't know, I really like what Polymarket is doing. Yes, that's what I gotta say.
and this is something that's been happening, right? We're seeing the era of prediction markets starting to come to the forefront, right? Because poly markets in the lead, and then you have Kalshi, you have Myriad markets, and you have a couple of different, like Drift, for example, on Solana. Perpdex also has their own prediction market called Bet, uh, where you can literally hedge your bet by actually using tokens. So you can actually do it in a fairly delta neutral way. But a lot of people are thinking that there possibly could be a poly market token. I honestly don't know anymore. Now that they so last week they announced that they have a they have a minority owner now, that is ICE, the Intercontinental Exchange, just the not the other ICE, this ICE, which is the umbrella organization for the New York Stock Exchange. They now own 10% of Poly Market. So actually, that makes me think there probably will be a token now that I think about it, because they got to pay back some people. But
Yeah.
yeah,
I wonder
we're not
if
going to.
like these tokens would even be released in any time soon, because look at this market. I When I think about token releases, I'm thinking about Pump Fund, how they even had people put money into, what was it, a seed round? Am I saying that correctly? Like, and no one has
Oh,
gotten their
sure.
tokens. No one has gotten their tokens, and I think that the way Elon is thinking right now is, look at this market. It looks horrible. If I even just put it out there right now, who's really going to win from the situation? Probably markets could definitely do a token launch at some point or a drop, but it's I don't think it would be right now or any like within the year. I don't know, dude. With how the market is looking right now, the cope in me's like, there's no way like we don't pump soon, man. There's no way.
Oh yeah. Oh no, I think it's pretty coded in there. For those who are curious about Poly Market, you can start using it in the U.S. if you want to put in your phone number here. To know, get a text message. Because that's why they want your phone number. If you didn't know, no, they're
Yeah,
clearly farming here. They're going to be taking your phone number and giving it to their quote unquote marketing partners to send you things.
yeah, dude. The amount of texts I get from quote unquote Coinbase every day is out of this world.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. It's unreal how bad it's gotten, to be quite honest. But yeah, I mean, the thing is, you're an easily marketable product. As much as we say, your keys, your crypto in Web3, you own your data. You're always going to be tempted by these things that are going to farm you in some way with your consent. No one ever reads the terms and conditions, the end user license agreement, stuff like that, right? Most people do not. Some people that do, but it's like, I really got to get this extra 20% off these socks on Facebook Marketplace or whatever you're trying to get on Instagram, right? Yes, I'm part of that demographic, but because they're like, yeah, get an extra 20% off. Yeah, I'll take an extra 20% off. Sign up for our sign up for our newsletter. Okay, cool. Now give us your phone number. Nope. Not worth it, guys.
Yeah, dude. And
uh,
then they can make some good money by selling your those email lists to other companies too. Yeah. It's
I can tell you that's true because I worked for multiple companies that did that. Your information gets sold daily. I could totally open up on this. Do
right.
you know the number of things that you think are safe that are being sold?
Man, is anything really safe? But probably
No.
a big percentage of it. Yeah.
Do you want to go buy a home? That they're going to sell that information. Do you want to get your lights turned on? Utility bills sell that information. Change of address, they sell that information. It is it is ridiculous. Your voting records, those get sold. Now, to
Oh
be fair,
no.
to be fair, to be fair, most of it is not tied to you exactly. They're looking for demographic information. But there are multiple data brokers out there that can literally take all the information and kind of tie it in together with things that you do. So please be careful when you go to sign up for, that sweepstakes to get in the running to win that vacation or that cyber truck, or you know free beef for a year. These are all things that are being used to get your information. That information is being sold. And most of these applications that you get for free, you are the product. Facebook, you're the product. Twitter, you're the product. Instagram, you're the product. Gmail, anything, you are the product.
Yeah. Oh man. I
So
just know that somewhere they're going to be looking at my demographics, the people around me voting, and they're going to ask, why did someone in this demographic vote for Peanut the squirrel?
maybe because Peanut made them a lot of money. Who knows?
Maybe.
Oh, although Peanut got driven into the ground and buried on Saturday. Shouts out to all the peanut holders that are out there. So,
Oh, I did.
um,
Go ahead.
yeah, no, go ahead.
I didn't even know that they made a token out of it. I'm not surprised, but
Wait,
RIP
what?
token. Yeah, I didn't even know at all.
You're joking.
uh, no, I did not know at all. It's unfortunate. I would have loved for me to put some money into that before it got driven into the ground, but it is what it is.
Oh,
Maybe good.
Peanut went to like 2 billion market cap, brother.
Holy.
Peanut made millionaires on for trenchers on Solana.
Oh wow.
Oh, oh my gosh, yes. I, yeah, no, I could keep going, but I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna put myself through emotional pain for selling early on Peanut. Anyway, we'll move on to uh, to something interesting that hopefully you like. Do you like Hyperliquid?
Oh, dude, let's talk about it. Fucking
Yes.
go ahead.
Thank you. So HIP 3, we had Keiko from Pith on right before he went to the Asian leg to Korea, Japan, and Singapore to talk about HIP 3, and super bullish on the idea that HIP 3 creates what are called builder deployed perpetuals. So pretty much anyone who wants to, it used to be a million hype. Anyone who wants to put up the 500,000 hype to stake into the system can then open their own perpetual order book marketplace. Uh, why this is interesting? A lot of people think of perps, and when I explain it to people who don't know what perps are like the version of a DeFi option, right? So if you have an option in TradFi, you're putting a call or a put, and it expires at a specific date, right? So if I'm gonna put out a call on Tesla, for example, it might have, a date of like October 26th or something like that, where I'm calling out a specific price target. Um, the difference is in DeFi, you can do the same thing, but perps don't have expiration dates. Now you do have what are called funding rates that will help keep the play the I want to say the playground, but just I want to say the battlefield. It just keeps everything fairly level. But that's the beauty of perps is that they're not spot assets. They are derivative assets. They're just digital assets whose value is pegged to something. So if I have a perp on Peanut, for example, I don't actually own Peanut. I just own a position, a cash option position on Peanut. That it's either going to be with leverage or without leverage, up or down. And that's kind of how that works. And what's cool about this specific model is that perps can be anything. So yes, you think of perps as like crypto stocks, but this could be commodities. This could be RWA type stuff, tokenized assets. So we could even talk about having perp dexes on things like watches, labubus, if you really care about those types of things, whiskey, watches, gold, precious metals, um,
Songs, music.
CS:GO skins. I don't know. There's a variety of perp dexes you can have. That's what HIP3 allows you to really do as a builder. Now, cool products that are out there, and that's what's on this tweet here. Shout out to Hyperliquid Daily for this. But Kinetic has been early. Same with Eventuals, also very early pre-HIP3, trying to build a lot of uh, infrastructure. For example, for Kinetic, if you don't have $500,000 in hype, no, I'm sorry, 500,000 hype, not $500,000 in hype. Um, you can be a part of their protocol. They just get a cut of things, and you can launch with them. So just seeing the different things you can do here. We'll talk about based one in just a minute. But yeah, this is going to be supremely cool. Now, let's see, Phantom, Rabby, and now MetaMask all have access to Hyperliquid perps. For people asking, I don't know if they'll get access to any of this stuff from HIP3. My guess is yes, because technically it's based off of things on Hypercore, but we'll see. The idea is that more and more of these will be mini CEXs, well, decentralized CEXs, but with perps. And for me, the question is, will Binance and Coinbase kind of get eaten up by this? What do you think, Lito?
I think that more competition is always great. I think that innovation is great. I don't know it. This I think gamblers are really gonna like this.
Oh yeah,
Um, like by them opening up to where it doesn't have to be approved by, let's say, the developers. Does that also mean that people can open it up perps on, let's say, like an NFL team, or like is it more of like, does it is it similar to Polymarket in terms of prediction marketing markets? Just is my question sounding okay?
no, it allows people to make their own mini hyperliquids.
Yeah. Okay. Got you.
Yeah,
Well,
some perp dexes basically.
yeah. So I don't know. I think the gamblers are going to really enjoy this. I think that any sorts of improvement to the market is great. Improvement to competition. So I don't know. I'm just like really salty about Binance after this past weekend. So anything that can kind of cause competition to them, I'm fine with, bro.
Yeah, and
That's
they're and
how
it's going to
I'm.
happen, right? It's
Yeah.
going to happen. It's I think CEXs understand that the writing is on the wall specifically, um, because these DeFi groups are building moats. They're building all-in-one experiences where people don't have to go through CEXs anymore. That's kind of always been the thing, right? If you want to get into Avalanche, if you want to get into Arbitrum, if you want to get to Solana, the easiest way to get there is through a centralized exchange. Soon that won't be the case. And then
Yeah.
we're going to have to figure out from a CX standpoint, what are they going to do? We've already seen Coinbase start to bring those DeFi experiences up to the main platform. So you can take out loans now that are backed by Morpho and Moonwell. You can do quote unquote verified pools, which are just concentrated liquidity pools that are done through Uniswap that are available to Coinbase.com people, because there are still people who would rather trust Coinbase than themselves, which I get, which I get. But at the same time, it's like something happens. You do something that looks kind of suspicious and you get locked out of your account. What do you do then?
Like, yeah, an example I'm thinking of people who have a bunch of money to be withdrawing. I've had friends who try to withdraw 10,000 plus dollars and just be unable to, and then they have to go through customer service, that whole process. If you want your money, you should be able to get it right away, and it's unfortunate that there's blockades in the way, you know. So DeFi is the way to go. I completely understand why people who want a little bit more of quote unquote security will go through centralized exchanges. It's easier for them not to, like, I guess, get scammed or click on a link that might drain their wallet or whatever. But I think that more education through routes like what Beacon is doing can be great for people trying to have more self ownership, self custody over their finances.
Didn't even ask him to say all that, but thank you so much for that. That's a great segue to what we're going to talk about here. And that is our free group. If you love what you're hearing, please, if you want to learn more about decentralized finance, you know somebody who wants to learn more about decentralized finance, check out our free group, Total Value Locked, school.com/beacon. Learn from the best in the business if you want to get into this system. Um, Lito's a member,
Yes, sir.
and you can learn a little bit more about how to become a competent DeFi investor. Uh, we may be offering some special little services right now. If you're very curious, check out our Start Here post and just inquire. Obviously, we have a lot of free content there, but if you want to uh, get personal mentoring from me, we do have offerings for that. You can join our Beacon Mastermind. Shout out to all of our Beacon Mastermind founding members and our Beacon Challenge members. If you want to learn how to earn your first dollar in DeFi, you can do that with our Beacon Challenge. We have all these available here at our group at school.com/beacon. And of course, we thank them for everything they're doing today. Also, today, it's October 15th. If you're in the United States, you should hopefully have paid your taxes. Hopefully. If not, you can check out our friends at Awaken. They have been so kind to give us a 25% discount if you
Nice.
use our code.
I use Awaken actually. I bought their
Do you?
lifetime pass or membership, whatever. So
Damn, they have a
it should be.
lifetime pass?
I could have sworn they did last year.
Andrew,
Did they
hook
take
me
it
up
off?
with this. I don't
Did
know.
they take it
I
off?
didn't see one. I didn't see one.
Okay, cool. It's I don't have to pay for another any year afterwards. Is basically what it is. So
Oh,
yeah,
okay. Oh, I see. Okay, got it.
yeah,
Yeah, no, it's a great service. I was using it this morning because I am a procrastinator. But check it out. If you want to use our code Beacon DeFi, you'll get 25% off. Your tax prep services from Awaken. I tell you what, guys, I've used all of them. We've used Coinly, we've used Crypto Tax Calculator, Coin Tracker, all of these services. Awaken is fantastic. They have it available for US. They have it for certain other countries. I know they have Canada. I know they have the UK. And Andrew and team are fantastic at building. I love the interface. I love the experience so far. It's really taken the stress, to be quite honest, of what I've been doing. And if you used a
yeah,
previous service before, literally just provide your login, like if you use Coinly, and it can import all that stuff for you already, literally with like one click, and about 10 to 15 minutes later, I have all that in there. So I can tell you with personal experience, so can Lido, that Awaken's the way to go. Again, use our ref code Beacon DeFi to get started with 25% off here at Awaken. And if you've already filed your taxes for this year, maybe consider doing it for next year. Thanks to our friends at Awaken for being a great friend and giving us a great discount here for you guys in our community. So if you again, you have till midnight. I think it's midnight Pacific, or is it Eastern? I don't know. Maybe they'll take it Hawaiian time. That'd be great. I could use an extra 5 hours. Uh, Man, man.
I mean, hey, at least you got something as simple as this. I'm not even partnered by them. I just thought the whole process was easy. Like I just put in my wallet addresses, I
Yep,
put in that, and that's it, and it just like compiles all the information there for you.
yep.
Uh, yeah, it's easy.
And what you're looking for here, guys, what you're looking for here is what's called, I think it's the 8949. It's just the crypto tax report. That's what you need to provide to your TurboTax, to Tax Act, to um, whoever you're using for your tax provider software. That's the one thing that Awaken does supremely well. Because I can tell you from firsthand experience, most CPAs know nothing about this. If people say that they know about crypto, you better put them, better post them up, ask them the right questions, because I'll bet money that they don't know about most of the stuff that Awaken knows from the ground up. Andrew's a Chad in this space, and he's been in it a long time. Have a lot of great conversations with him. Great team, definitely one to consider. So again, use our ref code Beacon DeFi, get 25% off. So back to the news, sir.
Sir, I
This
was
one.
reading something on the agenda about that was what I was about to bring up. Jupiter. Tell me about Jupiter. What's happened with Jupe VM?
Right. So again, this is this when we were talking about moats, right? That's the one thing, moats. I had mentioned it when we were leading up to this. One thing that Jupiter has done really well for Solana has been building a moat. And what I mean by that is they have Jupiter Mobile, Jupiter Wallet, they have a onboarding service, they have an easy bridge to get to Solana. They've they've they have their own portfolio tracker now. They bought Sonar.watch uh, right before Catstanbul in Istanbul this year to do that,
That.
and they're going to be a big part of the Meteor airdrop that's happening next week. So
Oh, dope. Oh, that's happening
yeah,
next week.
23rd, yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
dope.
October 23rd. And if you're a Jupe staker, you get a really nice boost if you're on the Meteor airdrop. So what they talked about at Catstanbul was the idea of JupeNet. And JupeNet is their version of an omni-chain liquidity network. Now, they've already started on this. If you go to Jupiter Lend, they are partnered with Instadap, which is Fluid, the DEX that is on EVM. They do a lot of single-sided liquidity. They're one of the larger DEXs now in all of DeFi. So you can do lending cross-chain between different blockchains, or your collateral is being used on Solana cross-chain. So that's the really
That's
cool
cool.
part. It allows you to get better yield in overall, because the money that's being put up as collateral is being used multiple places. So that's kind of the foundation for what we're having here with Jupe VM. The idea is, and I don't know if I necessarily believe in one chain, one asset, few users, right? But the idea is to have a moat where your application does everything, a one-stop shop. Jupiter's been building one. Uniswap has definitely been building one. They have their Uniswap wallet. Uniswap can be cross chain now through a cross, their partnership there. You can swap between multiple chains, even Solana and Hyper EVM now with a cross. Uh,
Nice.
there's a bunch of things you can. I mean, Uniswap even has their own blockchain. Jupiter does not have their own blockchain. They don't need one. But as you can see, these moats are building experiences where you don't have to leave. You can do multiple things and still be in. Plus, they have mobile apps. So they're going to where their audience is. Now, Jupe VM is really the foundation to help Jupiter go cross chain. So you don't have to worry about bridging. You can have liquidity structures and swapping to multiple ecosystems, and you won't know the difference. And that's really the whole point of what the Jupe VM is about. They're also solving the identity portion, because for a lot of people, they hate the fact that they have to come up with a seed phrase and know all that, um, worry about all of that. We've had a bunch of things that have been happening in the past couple of years to help to fight that. There's even things like decentralized ID. You can even talk about World Chain here if you want, and all these other types of decentralized ID projects like Civic that have been around forever to help with this. Jupiter is kind of rolling their own based off of partnerships and other things that they're doing. And oh wow, they have account recovery. Interesting.
Dedicates.
Okay,
In case like
so
you
they're
lose
looking.
your seed phrase or something.
Yeah, Yeah,
Right.
or it. Yeah, that's mainly it. Yeah, you forget. Well, it's not. I'm not gonna say forget your password, but forget your seed phrase or your
Yeah.
private key. In fact, with most new like with Privy and Dynamic, you don't really get a seed phrase anymore. You get a private key. So you just have a
Okay.
private key that you have to hold. You can
Oh,
export that. You can recover that within any wallet to then get to your money if you need to. People that work with bots know how that works, or smart contract wallets. But they're going to basically create a whole system where all that you really need is to connect to JupeNet. And then you'll have this whole orchestration environment where it can go anywhere and take care of all that for you. The fun part is if JupeNet creates AI agents, because then you
mhm.
literally can just tell your AI agent, hey, do this. JupeNet's on the other end of that to then just take care with intents of anything that you need to do: swapping, yield, rebalancing, perps. All of that will be available with JupeNet once it's should be available. I'm not going to say would because I can't speak for the team.
Dude.
You'll be
The
able to
amount of
do all that.
the amount of money that it would come from being an everything app inside the crypto sphere, like that, that's a great business opportunity right there.
Oh yeah, the Trump event back earlier this year where Trump released that meme coin included Meteora and Jupiter. Yeah, of course. I mean, they've got tons of money now.
Oh man.
uh, they have the resources to get into this. Now they what's interesting is that they have USDC in from any network. Uh, we talked about this last week, Lito. You weren't on panel. Jupiter announced Jupe USD, which is
Oh
their
wow.
their stable coin. It's going to be backed. It's a partnership with Athena, so it's going to be backed by USDTB, which is their treasury bills. So it's backed by T bills and US debt, basically. That stable coin. And it's going to be the initial part of Jupe USD, and then USDE from Athena, which is validator staking and BTC ETH futures, providing all of that backing there, will start to slowly get mixed in. So I was not expecting this today, but that makes more sense as to why they talked about Jupe USD last week, because they're going
Yeah.
to need a unified dollar to handle all of this moving forward. So
Yes. My first thought was, oh boy, another stable coin. But my second thought was, okay, it makes sense. Think, considering the scope of what they're trying to build in their ecosystem. So
yeah, they want one stable coin that works with everything, right?
yes.
Low slippage, low price action. I mean, price action, price impact. When you're trying to move between different portions of the market, if they all use the same Jupe USD, then that's good. Now, some people may ask about the whole decentralized nature of this. I'm assuming, and again, this is a big assumption, that they're going to have a full bevy of validators that can handle this in a decentralized way. That's what my guess is, right? And with Jupe doing everything they have in their tokenomics to improve things for their infrastructure, I think this actually makes a very bullish call for Jupe overall. Because they're building all of this, Jupe has multiple types of utility uh, besides just governance. This is all very bullish overall for Jupe as a token, in my opinion. But yeah, they're looking to aggregate everything. So good luck to them. This will be a very bold experiment. The one thing I tell people is if you're bullish on Sol, you got to be bullish on Jupe. It's like the arrow of Solana, right? Arrow drop on base. You've got you've got that on Solana with Jupiter. And there's other versions of this, like on other chains, right? Velodrome on Optimism. If you like Optimism, you gotta love Velodrome because it's the largest metadex there. Jupiter's in the same position on Solana. So Radium's not building all of this. Jupiter
Yeah,
is.
that was in my head, dude. I was asking, is Radium doing this right now? Like they're
No.
they're missing out.
Yeah, absolutely. So I know we only have you for a couple more minutes, Lito. So I'm going to kind of speed run the next couple of things, and we'll talk about CCM for a couple minutes. Um, we've talked about these guys. Of course, you know that half our rotating panelists are from BitTensor. I went to their first ever annual um, conference called Endgame in Austin at the end of April. Loved what I saw there. Huge fan of BitTensor. Very bullish on them overall. Uh, Grayscale just filed a Form 10 for them. Now, they filed a Form 10 for multiple assets, yes. But where we are currently with Tau, with its bullish move up, and the fact that they are a marketplace of AI powered digital commodities, this puts Tau in a very interesting light because they also have multiple digital asset treasury companies being built just for them. Uh, Also, they're having their first ever halving event sometime in December at this point. Um, they have the same tokenomics as Bitcoin. I don't know if you guys knew that. 21 million Tau exist, will ever only exist. And combined with their whole subnet architecture, where each of the working groups have their own alpha token based on Tau emissions to help keep them producing and incentivizing them to do well. I mean, this is a really, really great ecosystem to consider if you have not ever considered it. Something I didn't put in the thing in the agenda either. There's a group proposing native smart contracts for Tau, which I think would be interesting as well. For those who don't know, under the hood, Tau is in the Polkadot ecosystem. They're substrate based. So, but there is an EVM sidechain, thanks to subnet number 10 sturdy. But yeah, really interesting to see what they're doing here. Um, yeah, that was it. Are you do you look into Tau at all, Lido?
Oh no, dude, I have been solely into Bitcoin and my depreciating NFT bags. I have not really been doing
Ah,
a lot of research outside of that.
yeah. Well, I'll have to put you on BitTensor if you're curious enough. They
Okay.
have got a lot of amazing things going on for them. Really excited for their trajectory, and yeah, you might be a little bit underexposed to something that could be the next big thing. There's a lot of smart Wall Street guys behind it too. Like a lot of Wall Street guys work on things in BitTensor. So
That's good.
they understand that the idea is that the world doesn't need multiple a few owning AI, right? So we don't want OpenAI, Anthropic, Google owning all of the AI market. A lot of the things that are available can and should be decentralized, and that's the whole idea behind BitTensor.
So
Okay,
yeah,
so let's talk about creator capital markets, and we'll probably talk about this more often in the next couple of weeks because it's an interesting meta right now, right? When I say what's a creator capital market, we're talking about the idea of having DeFi based services or just a a token creator economy. Base has talked about it specifically, how they want to have uh, the best token creator network out there. Now, when we're talking about Solana, we have that as well through Pump.fun. That's probably the most uh, visible token creator platform out there. You're seeing influencers and other people actually doing streams right now, live streaming on Pump. They introduce their token, they earn the fees off of that. What's interesting about this, and the reason why because you're a creator just like myself, Lido, is that there's a lot of choices right now if you want to go out and make decent money. Twitter has always been difficult. TikTok, YouTube, difficult. You have to have there's a fairly high barrier to entry to make money on any of those platforms, wouldn't you say?
yes. So with TikTok, there's a certain amount of followers that you can have before you're even able or eligible to start getting income. And then after that, your videos have to be a certain length. So, like, I think it's above 60 seconds. And if it's not
Yeah.
above 60 seconds, then you can't get income. With Twitter, there's these, you have to have, what is it, 5 million impressions in the last 3 months.
5 million impressions,
Uh,
500 verified blue check followers. You have to
yeah.
also be paying for Twitter.
Yeah. So I'm just validating your point. There's a big
Mm-hmm.
barrier in entry in order to receive income from this stuff. But let's look at Pump Fund. Day zero, you're able to get creator fees off your token. Your let's say I don't know. I guess you can think of Kick as a way that people can monetize their brand or whatever. 95% you can get off of your subscriptions. what is it with Abstract? You're able to keep all the tip that people give
Correct.
you off their platform. Like this is
Yeah,
going to be the
abstract. I
future.
forgot to mention abstract. Yeah.
Yeah. So
But there's things like noise, right? Noise on base.
I
Noise.
love that.
It's a tipping culture, right? So we're getting more of a creator tipping culture. If you check out my streams on retake, hey, look, there we are.
Oh,
You
nice.
can tip me there. Zora, the big news is that they're actually starting to ramp up a lot of things. Ever since Basecamp, the rumor was that they were doing live streaming soon. They're doing it. They're testing it now. I'm waiting to get in to start running some live streams. I wanted to have today's on Zora, but it is what it is. But they're actually pushing 20 million in Zora to start. That's a lot of money, guys. That's 12 million roughly. No, less than that. 1.2 million or something like that. Yes, that's better. It's a lot. And it's good for people like us who want to be on there. Obviously, shameless plug. If you want to check out the DeFi Professor on Zora, you certainly can. Um, I put a lot of just educational material there because it's mostly just very short videos and photos. Because it used to be, Zora was originally an NFT type digital art platform, and now it's become a creator platform. So um, the
Yeah.
idea that people can have their own tokens, because the way that retake works, the way that the base app works, is that you actually get a creator token based off of, I believe, your Twitter account when you connect it, or your Farcaster account. There's a couple different ways to do so. Retake does makes an account on base for you, and you can personally buy that. But this is an interesting way for you to make money. If you're consistent about posting, if you just want to share information, there are multiple ways to do that now for creators that you don't have a lot of uh, specific barriers for. That can be difficult. In fact, Lito, offline, I'll tell you about something on BitToucher that's really interesting that
Dope.
you may want to kind of plug into, to be quite honest, as a creator.
Yeah.
So right now, creator capital markets, they kind of have a bad rap because there's a lot of people who are coming on, like Alex Becker came on. No, I'm not going to say bad rap, but Alex Becker came on and went on Pump.fund, made $300,000
Whoa.
off of just all of the price action. Went drug the token, went back to YouTube. It was just
Yeah.
weird things, right? But for actual creators who are there for the long run, like myself, like Lido, it can be a good way to get some really good supplemental income. So if you like watching people live stream, if you want to support your favorite creator, buy their creator token. It goes a lot longer, a long way, and do it now before people really start coming on. And I know this like will call back to things like friend tech and stuff like that. There's multiple things out there, right? There's Cato Yaps, there's Cookie.fun Snaps, there's Wall Chain Quacks. I know I'm missing some, so don't come for me, but there's a lot of ways as a regular person you can create in writing, in in video, in NFT, in art, live streaming. There's a bunch of ways to actually make money here in Web3 as yourself as a creator. So look out for these, because if you find the right people before they blow up, especially once they start getting bigger, then that's a really great return on investment for you. And in some cases, you can get really great perks. So, Lito, I'll get your thoughts, and then I know you have to head out.
Yeah, dude, if they are able to get or like reward people for, I don't know, distributing their music or giving education about music, I would definitely. I don't know. That's another market. I didn't hear you say anything about music, but let me know about
No,
that.
yes, it's also big.
Yes, I heard about Blaze. I don't think I heard you mention that. Blaze, they're another platform. I think it's a relates to AVAX. Am I correct? I don't know. That's just
Oh, okay.
something else to look at. Don't quote me on that, but yeah, check out Blaze. I don't know. I think that there's a platform war going on in order to recruit people, creators on and make content. That should tell
Yep.
everyone listening to this that this is a big thing that's happening. Create CCMs. Uh, it's big. Just look into it. Be early, like what you said. Yeah, I have so much I could say about this, but I am needing to go soon. Thank you so much for
Yep.
having me on, Chris. I appreciate you, man.
Let them know how to find you, Lito.
Um, check me out on Twitter at my at right here on the screen. I have the same at for Instagram, and I have at Lito Hilario without the underscore on YouTube, where I release music. So check me out there as well. So yeah, everyone have a great day and deuces.
I'll have to listen to your music. Thanks for joining us, Lito.
Peace, man. Appreciate it.
See you, man. Yeah, so I think what's interesting about this, let me use the other. That wasn't any better, was it? Is really the fact, at least on base, that the team, like Jesse Pollock, is all about supporting creators. He's gone on a couple of uh, people that I like, smaller creators. He's been on their streams. Jesse, if you're watching this, get on this show, brother. Would love to have you on one of our streams. Uh, they're really trying to help creators who want to build, who want to put out news, education like ourselves to get more people in the space. I know I highlighted some of the negatives specifically about CCMs, but there's so many bright potential things in CCMs. Like Lito mentioned, music is one that I think could really be a really great way to do it. So, and I want to say on Pump.Fun, there are people who are live streaming that are musicians, not just gamers, not just entertainer, a variety of people. There's a bunch of different people and places that are going to do it. The one thing I didn't talk about that I wanted to share is from Hyperliquid today. Uh, we talked about Hip3. There's a group called Based One who's powering a lot of Hip3 stuff there. They have based streams. So this is interesting for creators. If you want to actually live stream your trades on Hyperliquid, you can actually earn donations as well as that looks like based gold. So again, if this is something you like to do, if you want people to watch you, I personally probably won't be on here because I don't do a lot of trading. I do more DeFi stuff. That this could be something that's interesting. So definitely give it a look, check it out, and yeah, create is really the whole point. Create if you can. Now, kind of putting that all back together, pay your taxes. I need to go finish paying my taxes. But yeah, lot of a lot of great things to really look forward to. This Zora announcement is very interesting because I'm wanting to really kind of dig in on how to get in here because I have been putting quite a bit of content on Zora, which is base facing, by the way. And the way that it works is, as a creator, you actually get your own coin created. You get that coin as part of your market cap that puts it into an LP against Zora over time. So you're actually earning money as you post, as people buy your posts. And what I mean by buying your post, it's like, and I don't know if my feed is, yeah, like I said, so you're just seeing interesting things. Some people put some interesting things, some people put weird things. Um, you may think a lot of this is like photography, NFT type stuff, but they're doing the live streaming now, so people can start to do it. So again, another way to really get people interested in this, and shout out to the team at Zora uh, for trying to make content creation a bigger part of what we do in Web3. And it's gotten a lot of attention of actually agency owners, marketing agency owners who have clients who are creators who are kind of struggling on YouTube, on TikTok, on Instagram. Yeah, they get a great payment there, but they can get their own payments that they get to control in this arena. So that's why content creator markets could be very interesting. Are they glorified meme coins? Yeah, that's one way you could look at it, but what is it? Honestly, right? So if you find a creator out there or a bunch of creators, you hear about creators, let us know, and we'll take a look at them. And of course, we like to support everybody that's a creator here on the show. One of my cats is now crawling and looking underneath my desk for some reason. Interesting. I just want to take one quick look at the market before we head home. Looks like we're looks like there's a little bit of comeback here. Hopefully we get Bitcoin back to 112 and Ethereum back to 4,200 to reclaim. Hopefully to continue. So we'll see what happens here. XRP down to 243, BNB down as well. So that's an interesting thing. But the part that's interesting is that overall, we've really just kind of pulled back to where the bull market support band is, if you follow your bands. So with that said, everything is kind of going according to plan. If you follow the bull market support band, be honest. So as long as we continue to move up and to the right following that, we'll be fine. There's going to be a lot of shakeouts along the way, but there should be a good move upwards. I still think, 170K is on the table for this year for Bitcoin. Things have to happen, obviously, but we're supposedly getting 2 rate cuts this year. We'll find out on October 29th if we're going to get one in October, or if we'll get one in December, because that's the next meeting after that. But they've signaled that QT, quantitative tightening, is over. The age of quantitative easing is back in. So, yeah. Anyway, that's the show for today. I want to thank Lito, my panelist, for being here. We'll have a great set of guests next week for panel. Today has been more of a casual week. Not a ton to talk about outside of what happened over the weekend, which if you follow, us on Twitter or have just done your own research, is quite the bloodbath. I really do believe that even though CoinGlass, a great API tool out there for tracking, mentioned when we talked about it on Saturday, during a session we said 9 million. The number was actually 19. I think it's actually higher than that because I don't think CEXers are willing to actually announce the true number of losses that happened. Man, DeFi fixes this? I don't know. But it was sad to see how far some of these things did fall on Saturday due to the issues that they were having. Think what you want. It's still terrible regardless. So with that said, we do this show every Wednesday like we have since December of 2021. Would love for you to like, follow, and subscribe on all of our socials, on YouTube, on Twitter. Feel free to follow me as well personally. And see you next week for a great show. Until then, thanks for tuning in today. Beacons up. Banks down. Take care, everybody. Have a great day.